The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, South Kitsap, Washington, on your new fire apparatus, job number 30163. Please utilize this job number when referencing your new apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. First, let's just take a look around, quick shots here of the outside of the apparatus. And from there, we'll go down and break down some of the components as we work through your apparatus. Let's get started on the front bumper of your apparatus, starting in the corner passenger side. On the bumper, you'll find a mechanical siren. Moving inward, you'll find right and left dual air horns. Located just off center, you'll find two closed tow hooks. And moving to the outside driver's side area front bumper, you'll find a electronic siren and your public announcement speaker. Moving up onto the top, you'll find a tubbed storage area for hose. Moving further up, you'll find on the outer edges your turn indicator marker light. And just inside, right and left, you'll find your headlights, low and high beam on the inside, low beam on the outside. Just up from that, in this cluster, you'll find an emergency warning light and your turn indicator forward facing. Here's a close-up of the headlight cluster and also the turn and emergency light. Let's move up toward the top here across your seamless front windshield. This is a one-piece windshield. There are 3 windshield wipers across the front. Moving over to the A-pillar on the driver's side, you'll find the VIN number of the apparatus. Moving up to the top, you'll find your brow lights or running lights across the top. And as we move further up, you'll find a forward-facing flood fixed. Moving even further up than that, we're going to find your emergency light bar. And at the very top, you'll find what's referred to as a go light or your spotlight. Also located in the center of your emergency light bar is a opticom. Here's a close-up of the go light and also your opticom. Let's take a look at the side of the apparatus here. On the side of the bumper, you'll find side-facing emergency warning lights. Once again, up on the top, you'll find that side-facing turn indicator, marker light, and then just above that, you'll find this camera, side-facing. This is going to project onto your screen inside the cab. Close-up here of the side light, turn indicator, and at the very top, you can see that bullet-style camera rear-facing. Same with the opposite side, you have 2 cameras side-facing. As we look up to the mirror cluster, you'll find the upper portion being flat and the lower portion being convexed. Same on the driver's side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cab of the apparatus. Let's start first underneath. All points of entry for personnel, you'll find perimeter lighting. Moving upward, you'll find once again that side-facing emergency front bumper light. Moving further up, we'll find your marker indicator. And as we move further up onto the body itself, this is that side-facing camera. And of course, door locks here with keyed door locks. And then there are 2 grab rails on this side, and there are also 2 on the opposite side. All points of entry will have these grab rails for ease and access into the cab. Located between the front and rear door, you'll find an additional access compartment. And then moving all the way up to the very top, you'll find a side-facing scene light. To the rear of the cab, you'll find this assist, which is going to be your water tank indicator. Let's take a look. Here's the doorknobs and that grab handle. You can see there's a keyed lock for those door handles. The very top side-facing floodlight. And then let's look inside the compartment. You'll find first adjustable shelving and also lighting with inside this compartment. But you'll also find a shore outlet. This is a 20 amp plug, and just note there is a GFI plug switch on this. Looking at the rear section of your apparatus, you'll see that on each side you have telescoping lights. To access those telescoping lights, there is this knob here to release to allow it to move upward or downward, tightened in the position that you wish. The black handle here is a handle to adjust upward and downward, or tilting of that headlight. And then moving up to the very top in between the cab and the midsection of the apparatus, you'll find an additional section here, grab handles and step lights. Let's go ahead and start up here in the left-hand corner of the pump. We'll talk a little bit about some of the components here, starting in the red section first. This is your Husky foam system. There are clear operating instructions and also your foam system tank level here for foam A. Located in the gray section, you'll find your master intake and master discharge, and you'll also find your test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. Moving over, you'll find a section here of panel lights, and we'll go over those panel lights here. You'll also have an indicator for your pump engaged, driver's side and passenger side cargo lights and air horn. To the right, you'll find your Pierce throttle governor for pressure and volume, and also your water tank. Moving down to the lower left, you're going to find the front discharge. You're going to find an 1.5-inch rear and also a driver's side rear discharge, all color coded. This is going to be a wheel here. This is a 12-to-1 ratio, and this is for your deluge. It's in pink. Moving further back, you'll find the passenger side rear 1.5-inch pre-connect. It's capable of water and foam. It's this aqua color. Moving further right, you'll find the fire pump push to prime, and you'll also find instructions underneath that for enabling the primer, you should be at least at 1,000 RPMs. To the right, you'll find this audible alarm or speaker. And down to the right, this is your engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. Let's go ahead and take a look. Just beneath that, you'll find your tank fill recirculating line and also your tank to pump. You're going to find this placard on the side of your panel. This is your 150, 200, and 250 test pressures for your pump and RPMs and associated GPMs. Moving down from that location, you'll find a few warning labels. This is a foam failure hazard warning label regarding the mixing of foam is not acceptable. And then moving to the right, you'll find your draft foam tank and also your foam fill just beneath that. On the right, you'll find your pump drain, pull to drain, and close for closing that drain. Let's go ahead and look just underneath. You'll find your manual pump shift, and you'll see that this is instructions here for caution on using that pump shift. And then we'll talk a little bit about that compartment or access door. This is going to be your foam lever here inside. You can see the instructions here on the left-hand side for filling and use. And at the very base of the apparatus, you'll find all your associated drain valves with each of those ports and discharges. You also have hose tub storage in this area, and we'll take a look at the entire body of your apparatus. Let's go ahead and start first with this compartment door. You can see it's a single pull. It's a latch which allows you to open that door. It's a single hinged. You'll also find additional emergency warning lights. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the compartments. You'll find LED lighting inside those compartments, and then you also have an adjustable track here for your shelving. Up in the left-hand corner, you'll find your auto charger. This is when you're plugged into shore power. And as we look down, you'll find once again those adjustable shelves currently in a fixed position. Underneath this compartment, you'll find your storage location for your folding wheel chocks. Moving to the center compartment over the apparatus rear wheel, you'll find a pull-out style hinged compartment. This is the access to gain into that compartment. Once it is opened, you'll also find the ability to mount tools on the front and also on the back and on the wall itself. This is the mechanism to allow you to return it back once it is locked in the open position, lift, and allow it to push back to its regular position. Just beneath that, you'll find two bottle storage locations and also your blue DEF fill location. And as we move up to the rear section of this, you'll find additional bottle storage with those straps for securing, and also just beneath that, you'll find your diesel fill location. We're looking at a two-pull compartment here. First, access the first door. To gain access into the second door, there is a black latch down at the lower right corner. Go ahead and depress that latch, allowing you to gain full access to this compartment. You can see interior lighting. Also, you have an adjustable shelf, and at the very base, you have a pull-out style shelf. To gain access to this shelf, on the right-hand side, you'll find an additional latching mechanism. Push down on this latch, and this will allow you to pull that drawer to the outward locked position. To restore it, simply push that latch and restore it back to its normal position. Close the doors. Underneath this compartment, you'll find a couple of things. One, you'll find your storage location for your wheel chock, and then you'll also find a side point for attaching a winch. In the rear, you'll find perimeter lighting in addition with a tow hook point. And on the left, you're going to find, as on the right, you'll find your cluster here for reverse turn, brake, and also backup. Just above that, you'll find your hose bed lights and deck lights. These are the two switches controlling those.
Just up from that location, you'll find the location for mounting your license plate with a light. And then just above that, you'll also see an emergency light and also rear scene lights. Let's go ahead and take a look further up at the very top of the apparatus. You'll find an additional access door here, diamond plate. You can see that latching mechanism. And then we'll move down to the center compartment. You can see the yellow covers here. Those are for protection of those steps, but those are folding down steps. In the center roll-up compartment door, you'll find a pull-out shelf, 2 of them. They also have a mechanism here on the upper right-hand corner. It is gray in color. To access that, you're just going to push down on this latch here, and this will allow that compartment door to release, or compartment shelf to release and pull outward. This is in the outward position. Same mechanism to restore it back. The bottom shelf has a slightly different latch. It's similar to the driver's side and passenger side pull-out shelves. You'll find additional step and also lighting here for step lighting. But let's go ahead and take a look at the center area just above the Pierce logo. You'll find your reverse or backup camera. Above that, you'll also find a grab rail, and then we'll move into the storage location for your hose bed. You can see you have adjustable hose bed storage here and also pre-connected lines on the right and left here. You can see an 1.5 inch and also a 2.5 inch pre-connect. On the far right hand side, you can see an additional 1.5 inch pre-connected line. And as we move forward, you can see the large black. This is your water fill for top fill, and to the right, your foam fill in tank A. On the sides of the apparatus, you'll find on the top diamond plate covered storage. Once you access inside those compartments, we'll take a look here shortly. But moving forward, you'll find a diamond plate covered area in addition with the location for your deluge. And on the left-hand side, this is going to be your pump for your foam. And you can see at the very bottom the black latch or the black cover. That's for filling your hydraulic reservoir. This is going to be an extended ability to raise your deck gun. And to access into this area, you'll find this latch, allowing it to open up. You can see on the right-hand side in the center, that's the location of your deluge. We're moving to the passenger side of the vehicle. This is your equipment rack. You can see that on this picture here with the ladders down, you have what appears to be a 28 foot and also a 16-foot roof. Also just above that, on that same rack, you have a 10-foot folding. And then underneath on the base of these, you have additional storage for long pole storage. Generalized view here of the passenger side of the vehicle. Let's talk about some of the components in this area. At the very top, this is your locking mechanism for your equipment rack. There's also one in the very front. Here your compartment doors open. Once again, interior lighting in all compartments, and you have adjustable shelves and pull-out shelves associated with each of those compartments. Looking into this compartment, this is your equipment rack hydraulic reservoir. The red cap black outline is going to be the fill location. Between the front and rear wheels, you'll find this compartment here for bottle storage. And as we move to the midsection, the arrow is indicating now the large diameter intake. Moving to the right, this is your large diameter discharge. And then moving further to the right with the downward pointing, this is going to be a 2.5 inch discharge port. Let's move down to the bottom, talk a little bit about this is your diesel exhaust, but just up from that location, there is this warning sticker here regarding or caution regarding exhaust that are extremely high temperatures, and be cautious as to where you park. Is that section similar to the other side, housing your dead load? As we look further down, we'll find this access door in addition with a couple other warning lights or warning labels. Those warning labels are regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards. This is going to be access to the midsection of the pump. Moving forward, you'll find your powered equipment rack, on-off switch, and up and down for lifting that equipment rack. And then you'll also find this cab lift protected switch and also the activate switch. Generalized view here once again of those intakes and discharges. You can see that all of the discharges are not only labeled, but they're also color-coded to the individual valve. This is going to be an additional access door here to set the intake pressure. And down on the lower left-hand corner, you'll find a maintenance schedule and also information regarding the pump type Watrous. At the very base, you'll find additional drains here with the associated drain valves. Once again, same as the other side on the cab, you'll find your indicator for water tank level. Moving to the right in the center, you'll find a side-facing flood. Let's take a look, same as the opposite side here with this compartment door between the front and rear door. Adjustable shelves. This also has shoreline outlet, and it also is 20 amp, and it does have a GFI on it once again. As we move just underneath the cab, you'll find the negative and positive for your battery termination points. And now we'll move to the section of the apparatus front door where the operator is. Let's take a look at the door panel. You'll find additional caution and warning labels here, but I would like to focus in on this yellow placard. This is going to be your manufactured by Pierce Manufacturing. This has your date of manufacture, job number, gross vehicle weight ratings, in addition with the VIN number of the apparatus, tire pressures and inflation rates, and also all of your fluid capacities for components in fluid capacity. Close up here of those caution and warning labels, please seek the advice of those. As we look onto the upper section of the door panel, you'll find your height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating, and this is also another location for that job number. In the inner compartment here, you'll find perimeter lighting, or I should say step lighting. You're also going to find an air inlet, and also your short line inlet, and this is a 20 amp plug. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear section here. Same identifying warning and caution labels here. Let's go ahead and look inside. Once again, perimeter lighting underneath and step lighting just above. As we gain entry into the cab in the front section, you'll find your auto charger when plugged into shore power. This will illuminate and indicate the battery status. On the left floorboard, you'll find your mechanical siren. And as we move up, you'll find a variety of different things on the left-hand side. First quarter turn battery switch, and also you're going to find a general diagnostic port. Center console area, generalized view, we'll break down those components next. This is going to be your monitor for those cameras that are side facing and reverse. Located in the center of the dash, you'll find your siren controls and also PA. Located in the center, you'll find your emergency master, Opticom, a momentary Opticom, and also your engine brake low, medium, and high. And in red, you'll find the siren brake. Let's go ahead and take a look at the very top section over the operator's area. You'll find two ropes. These are going to be for your air horns. And as we look at the set of switches to the left, let's start with the upper left-hand corner with front flood, passenger side cab scene, driver flood, passenger side flood, and also your deck lights. All of these have indicators. If they are on, they'll turn green. Let's move just further to the right, and in the very center, you'll find this red puck-style light. This is an indication that is a warning regarding a possibility of open compartments or doors. You'll also find your go light control here, on-off switch, and also your control switch lever. Moving further right, you'll find mirror heat, siren horn, perimeter light, additional future locations for added switches, and also your load manager. Let's spin around, take a look at the rear section. As you can see, closely mounted two SCBA seats that are fold-down seats here. And as we look into the cab itself from the outside, you'll also find two additional compartments here on each side behind the passenger and driver. At the very top section, you'll find a smaller compartment here that has lighting inside. And on the lower section, you'll find a shelf, interior lighting, and also shore power outlets. Same as the passenger side. Let's go ahead and take a look on the passenger side. You'll find this red pull handle. This is to gain access to make it easier for firefighters to getting in and out of the cab. That's what this red section is for. We're now looking into the passenger side of the vehicle. Let's take a look as we move inside. You'll find comfort controls for your seat located on the left-hand side, forward facing. And then let's move up to the top. This is going to be your SCBA mounted seat for the passenger. Located just behind that seat, you'll find an additional shore outlet, 20 amp once again, and to the right, you'll find 12-volt termination blocks. On the dash area, you'll find some USB plugs. These are going to be USB style, 4.8 amps, and they are also USB once again. Overhead, we're going to find a set of switches. Let's go over those switches here real quick. Let's start on the far left-hand side with your go light controls. It's going to be next to the pull string for your air horn. This is the on-off switch and also controls. You'll also find your front flood, driver's side cab scene, passenger side cab scene, driver flood, passenger flood, and also your deck lights. Once again, these will all illuminate when you have selected that switch. Let's move just further to the right of this location. You'll find an additional panel for switches. In this panel, you'll find your red siren brake and then future locations. Here are a few more images of your apparatus from the side, rear, and passenger side. Congratulations, South Kitsap, Washington, on your new apparatus, job number 30163. Once again, remember to utilize this job number when referencing your vehicle. If you have any questions regarding the video or content of the video or need additional information on your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales associate. Thank you and congratulations.